Okay, testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I presume we're live. This is no matter how many times I do this, is always terrifying. Let me just check the levels. Well, it says live. Oh, 7 viewers. Okay, so we must be live. Okay, let me load up the Facebook. 52 viewers. So somebody's watching. Hello, guys. Welcome to the show. Just give me 1 second while I finish setting this up. I've literally just got home now. So hold on 1 second. So I'm going to coordinate this with, where is it? Come on. Sorry, do bear with me, guys. Where are we? View pin build. Here we go. Right. Okay. Lee is in. Hello, Lee. Michele. Oh, Mike B from Vernon. Hello. I presume the same Mike B for sending the cards. Hello. Giancarlo's in. Hello, Giancarlo. George there. Hello. Shout out to George and Melissa. Hello. So I presume we're live. 267, 270 viewers. Fantastic. Right. Let's now I have to figure out how to invite Duncan. So obviously we're going to be discussing Bond again. Let me just excuse me 1 second. Where's my emails? This is terrifying, this thing. Okay, now I'm sending the link. And we're good. Okay, we should be good. Okay. Hi guys, welcome to the show. So we're going to be discussing Bond watches. How are my levels, guys? How are the levels? Are they can you hear me? Oh, Luke is in. Hello, Luke. Phrase is in as well. We've got John with a very Bond-like, is that a Glock? Very Bond-like, what kind of gun is that? I've only got a small, let me change the, here we go. Right. So who else is in? Lee is there. Levels good. Thank you very much, Lee. Thank you. So if you want to comment, questions, shout outs, all the rest of it, there's a live feed in the top of the UGWC. So you can a shout out to Dapper Dutch Dude. Okay, Dapper Dutch Dude. There you go. My bro, he doesn't know. Walton and Rolex. Ah, okay. Sorry, not a Glock. Right. Okay. Who else have we got? Tanner. Tanner's in. A few of the regulars. Are in. So we're going to be discussing Roger Moore and Dalton. I'm not sure if last time we covered it, but did we mention this? This beautiful Cosmograph pre-Daytona from the last Lazenby. Not sure if we mentioned that, but yeah, the 6238. So pre-Daytona. Gorgeous. Anyway, so I don't think we mentioned that, but we kind of did cover Lazenby briefly. And guys, if you missed the first part, there'll be a link in the description when this is posted, so have a look for that. And I think Duncan shared his a brief state of the collection. He has a really impressive collection, so do check it out if you missed it. Oh, look at that, Jordan sharing a combat sub on a Bond. If you guys, I don't know if you guys can see that, but combat sub on a Bond. Oh, here we go. Oh, there he is. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes. How are you, sir?
Buonasera.
Buonasera, come stai?
Yeah, bene, ciao.
Bene.
Yeah, good. How are you, sir?
I'm very well, thank you. Very well.
I think we both seem to have just rushed home.
Yeah,
So you find us both in a state of flux.
yeah.
What's going on? But
How did today go?
oh, good, thank you. Yes, yeah. I've just I got back from London about an hour ago and quickly ate some food and tried to
Nice.
look at all the many Seikos of Roger Moore. And
Yeah, yeah. It seems like 80%, 80% Seikos at least.
the man is all Seiko.
Yeah.
Is more Seiko now than man. Quartz and ego.
Cool. But it was a sign of it was a sign of the times, wasn't it?
It was.
So I guess we should get started. Fraser is wearing his subby.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So have you got Facebook open as well?
No, but I can.
Okay.
We have that technology. Buon momento.
Sure, take your time. So I've got a list here. Yeah, it is all Seikos, and I'm very kind of divided about. Wristwatch check. Sorry, we should do wristwatch. What are you wearing, Duncan?
I am currently wearing my Speedy on a
very
black,
nice
black croc. Yeah. That was that's been on my wrist now for about a week because I keep meaning to wind up my GMT or something and get it going, but
gorgeous.
This is just it's funny. It's such a, as you say, it's a strap monster.
Yeah.
It just, with that monochromatic dial and everything, it just works so well with anything you put on, really. But
lovely.
Yeah.
What are you timing? Sorry, I'll shut up because when you talk, it goes to you. So has it got a display back?
Yeah. So it's a sapphire sandwich job here.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'll shut up.
No, it's fine. It doesn't stop for me. So that's right. Fine. I was timing my dinner in the oven. That's why
I was about to ask. Right, why the chronograph is? That's pretty much what most people use chronographs for, right?
Pretty much, and dive bezels. I mean, it's all the same.
Yeah,
really.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'll quickly do mine. As I wore a Seiko last time, I should have worn it today. I should have worn a Seiko. I've got the old the Fleming on the Explorer, and I've put it on a Pearlon, a blue Pearlon. I don't really wear Pearlons that much, but
it looks good.
I'm really there isn't a strap. This is also a strap monster. I mean, it's very
classic, beautiful.
Yeah,
beautiful. Yeah,
thank you.
Good choice, my friend.
Thank you. Quick shout out to Atay there. Sorry. My good friend there, James. James says he was looking forward to this, so I hope we live up to
James Bond. That was a lazy one.
Yes. Marco is. What is that? That is. Marco in Italy says, "Buonasera, Tristano." Is wearing I presume is a vintage squale that I'd never seen before. Very nice.
Is this on Facebook? Do I need to get on?
Yeah, sorry,
I should. Sure.
Let me enlarge that. There we go. For you guys out there.
Oh yeah.
Very cool.
Oh, very nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Very nice.
Oh yeah.
What else? We're going to see a lot of Omega Seamasters today, I expect. So
good. Save them for the Brosnans.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, and Atay has his Seamaster on as well. Okay, let's get started. So at the top of the list, Live and Let Die, which you did a commentary. And guys, I'll leave a link down below. Check out if you're not familiar with Duncan. I should give a little introduction. Duncan also co-hosts on Oliver Harper's channel, which I'm a huge fan of. And you do a lot of the commentaries regarding Bond, and you did was it Live and Let Die recently, wasn't it?
Live and Let Die was the last one. Yeah, we did in a day, back to back. We did we bookended the Roger Moore saga, A View to Kill, and Live and Let Die, and we did them in reverse order. It was really odd. So, but we did both of those. So yeah, so Live and Let Die was the last one. In fact, we've just done was it yesterday? It was yesterday. We did You Only Live Twice.
Nice.
I'm sort of getting a bit Bond fatigued, which is not something I ever thought I would.
Oh, I'm sorry. I know
No,
you're
not
now
at
on
all.
this.
Not at all. No, not at all. But so with the commentaries and stuff, so I'm like, can we do something else? So I actually sat in and did the Incredible Hulk with him and Richard as well yesterday. So
Yeah. Oh, that must have been fun.
that was fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's all coming up imminently, I'm sure.
Cool. There's a link in the description, guys, and if you're watching this in the future, there will be a link in the description. So do have a look. I hadn't watched Live and Let Die since childhood, so it was really nice. It was a pleasant. I couldn't get over the colors. Everything was so bright. Like,
did you watch the Blu-ray, like the 4K restoration they did?
No, I'm still in DVD. I'm a bit behind, but yeah, it was interesting. Yeah, so we should address the watches. What was the first one? Oh, first of all, he had the Pulsar on, didn't he?
Yeah, very first, the Hamilton Pulsar, the time computer, as it's credited in the film, actually, at the end.
There's gonna be a lot of Alan Partridge, I think.
I'm James Bond. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of that. Sorry, I apologise.
I love Partridge. It's absolutely fine, man. Go for it. So, before we start, what are your opinions on Roger Moore? How important was Roger Moore to you?
Do you know what? It's funny. In revisiting You Only Live Twice yesterday, I sort of, it was an odd realization to me to say that I actually probably stick Roger Moore Bond films on more than I do Sean Connery, and that's not to say that I think, objectively that his portrayal of Bond was more accurate or what have you. But I suppose, I mean, for argument's sake, and certainly in terms of the Eon canon of films, he did more, so you could argue that there's more of them to choose from. But I don't know. I don't know what it is. I just sort of I suppose I've grown to appreciate the Roger Moore films. It's not to say they're not without their sort of really silly moments, but I don't know. Like I loved his portrayal as Bond, and he really shone through the character. I think he'll be right for that.
I wanted to ask you. I don't remember if I asked you last time. Who was the first Bond you saw? Because a lot of people tend to stick with that as their go-to Bond.
Well, Connery was the first one I saw, but it was it was kind of foisted upon me by my dad, and I railed against it as a kid. And I was like, no, and then I didn't quite understand.
Oh, I remember now, because you were saying about that in Goldfinger there was the golf, and you didn't. Yeah. I remember now. Right. Sorry. Golf.
And then and then I wasn't sure who was who, because we'd watched that and Roger Moore films, and I was kind of like, well, I don't know, is it a different guy? I'm not really sure. But the first Bond who I got into Bond with, it certainly in cinema and stuff, was Pierce Brosnan.
Right, of course.
Yeah, Pierce. Yeah, great Bond, good hair.
Yeah, he did actually have really good hair. That's
great
true.
Hair all the time. Great hair. Yeah. Well coiffed.
I was going to say that what I was doing a bit of prep. I've got so many notes and stuff because I didn't realize how much a turbulent period it was for the whole franchise. I didn't really realize any of the history behind it, and there was a lot going on. And I think Live and Let Die was quite a ballsy. Because I noticed in even the Lazenby and Connery, the first time we see them on screen, there's a steady build-up. We see shots of them. It's not just immediately, like with Roger Moore. It's just he arrives. He's in bed in his home with that funny window that you commented on in the commentaries.
Yeah, into his living room from his kitchen.
Yeah, and there he is, and it's just as if there's no
inauspicious. It's very inauspicious. It's just like, hello, sir, I'm James Bond. It's all very. I don't know. I mean, I think there was a similar type of situations to what there was with Pierce Brosnan, which was like everyone assumed he would be Bond. I think so. There seems to be this kind of like, that's it, passing of the torch. No ceremony here. It's just, and he's not in the pre-credit sequence at all. There's no Bond in the pre-credit sequence of Live and Let Die, which is interesting.
Right.
There's only a handful where he's not actually featured.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the first watch was the Hamilton Pulsar, which was it was an LED. You had to press it down. I think I got a picture of it. Or have you got one?
I don't. I've lined up all the Seikos in different tabs.
Oh, lovely, lovely, lovely.
Sorry,
actually,
but I haven't got a problem.
I've got a shot of it. I've got a shot of it. I'll show you guys. There it is. So that's when he's given. That's the window there.
That's the window. In the background. You see with the blinds in it. That just goes into his kitchen or his living room.
What is that all about? Anyway, so yeah, he's given the Rolex that has he magnifies he grabs a spoon, doesn't he? Off
it's got a magnetic. It creates a magnetic field, basically.
Right.
And also has that buzzsaw thing built in that is never explained.
Right, of course.
Yeah.
I actually got I went to the Philips website and I found it. It was lot number 290 and it's sold, where is it? For 365,000 Canadian francs. So I don't know what that is. Actually, if anyone's watching, if you 20 quid. Yeah, so and that's not even functional. It just had the hour hand and the minutes, and that was based on the reference 5513. I have a picture of it there.
Yeah.
See, you see, there's no seconds.
Yeah,
and you can see that. Yeah, sorry, go on.
No, I was just gonna say, if you look, I don't know if you can see it there. I can't see it in the picture, but in the end links that joins the bracelet, there's a little hole, and that was put there so that they could run a filament wire through it and pull. So to create the effect of it attracting something like the spoon, you'd attach the spoon to the wire and pull it through, and it would. Yeah, so that's why there's holes in the end links.
But that's really cool.
Have you seen the inside? Because in the underside, it's got these sort of like fins, like a fan that he would blow air into to make it spin. So the whole dial, everything span.
Right. Damn it, I didn't print that bit. I saw that Roger Moore had signed it in the case back. He'd actually signed it, which was pretty cool. But let me just check the Facebook. Somebody could be so kind to convert the francs into what was it? 365,000 Canadian francs. Oh, somebody's actually taking a picture of doing a wristwatch check with. What is that, Seiko? Oh, it's 009, I think. Yes. Seiko. Very nice. Very nice.
Oh, nice.
Who's that? Elio, I think. Marvin's in. Hello, Marvin. Richard, our good friend from the UK. Oh, he's just got a new Breitling emergency.
Oh, wow.
Which is really nice. Yeah, that's a serious bit of kit there.
That is. I couldn't pull that off. I don't think.
I don't think I could stop myself from pulling the little,
Yeah. Are you one of those kids who was shown the cockpit when you were a kid? And
yes.
Yeah, I couldn't. Yeah. When they used to do that. Yeah.
Those are the days. They certainly don't do that anymore, do they?
No.
Anyway, sorry. We'll carry on. So that was Live and Let Die, and then there's. Which one? So there's a Submariner.
So he had the 5513. He had that in Man with the Golden Gun as well, but didn't do anything.
As well. Right.
There's a nice close-up shot of it. And they didn't clean it up or anything. It's got like fingerprints all over it. It's when he checks it, he's in Hong Kong and he checks the time. And it looks really.
I like it when it's a bit mucked up. I'm starting to really.
There's a great, actually, just going back to Live and Let Die quickly, there's a really interesting shot, and it's not something that is really brought up much, but you know the old riveted bracelets that they had on those subs?
Yes, yeah.
I didn't realise, but they had a folding clasp, but they also expanded, like the bracelets expanded as well.
Like on the Daytona.
Yeah, I mean, I guess all of them.
Sorry, the old ones, yeah.
Yeah. It's really weird. You see him when Kananga gives it back to him, he puts it on and he just stretches it over his hand. It's like, it's really weird to see an oyster bracelet like come apart like that and go.
Right. Yeah, I must admit, because I'd never handled the Paul Newman before, and I really liked it. It was stretchy, and I wish. Oh, there's a name for it, but I can't remember. But I wish Rolex would do that again. It's really cool.
An expanding bracelet. I mean, I think what I gather is that they just were they were flimsy, and they would all fall after a while. It would give too much and fall apart. So, there must be a way to implement that nowadays. That's more.
Yeah. I'm sure there is. I'm sure there is. So then, so what was next? Man with the Golden Gun. So that was Live and Let Die was 73, and then they made Man with the Golden Gun a year later, which is pretty quick.
They were churning them out at that point. They were churning them out pretty much. I mean, bearing in mind, 73 Live and Let Die. That's only 11 years in for all of the Bond films. You know, it's
right.
Up to that point, it was 7 films.
Right. I must say, I have a theory about Baron. Is it Samedi? Samedi.
Yeah.
You know, in the commentary, you know how he's you said that he's still alive at the end, right?
Yeah.
And when I was a kid, that kind of I cottoned onto that as well, and I just thought that was a bit, because it kind of suggests that the paranormal his powers exist, right?
Yeah.
Because unless he's just absolutely insane and really on the, but well, he is a bit, but I was beginning to think maybe it's a metaphor for the whole Bond franchise. Like you can't kill it, you know?
Yeah, definitely. I think there's something. Well, it's interesting. Yeah, it's interesting to have that as a sort of first film for really the first kind of successful transitional actor. To have it be about kind of resurrecting the dead and being able to kill it and stuff. That's a good point. That's a very good point. Yeah. Really, I mean, I don't. It's one of those things where you kind of. It's never bothered me that much, but you know, sat on the train at the end, sort of just going. Like, all right, whatever. I'll go with it. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's just one of those things.
Yeah. But, I got to say as well, sartorially, I really like Hal Roger, because Hal Roger dresses later on with like the safari shirts. I'm not a fan of that, but how he dressed, especially when he went to Harlem, and I love the way they all look at him, and he's just such a fish out of water.
Yeah, but, he's heading on in.
Yeah. We should mention Yaphet Kotto, the from Aliens as well. Alien, sorry. He was a great villain. I really liked the plot. I thought the manipulation of the heroin trade, and I thought that was kind of refreshing. It was not so, you know, it's not just some madman trying to take over the world. You know, it was a kind of believable. I mean, not that his identity thing, but it could be done. I quite like that. What else?
In the novel, he's not. So in the novel, he's just Mr. Big, who is his like alter ego in the film. Kananga, the name is it Ross Kananga was the guy who owned the crocodile farm that they were filming at. So that's why they took his name and put it on and gave him a dual identity. But that was just the thing for the film. But
very cool. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But
yeah, Yaphet is incredible. Have you seen recently? He's been claiming to have been abducted by aliens his whole life.
Oh God.
Yeah, some things like, okay, all right.
Okay.
But I love him. I love him in things like Midnight Run. He's fantastic.
Oh yeah. There's with Bobby, Uncle Bobby.
Yeah, but the Neros in that. There's little bitties in that. Okay. Little bitties. And then he was in like Running Man and stuff like that. I always forget he was in the Running Man.
Oh yeah, he was as well. Yeah. Yes, you're right. I totally forgot about that. Yeah. And what's he done recently? Has he been in anything apart from
Aliens?
Literally aliens.
Someone's quoted him as saying, like, around the time he was filming Alien, he saw an alien, and they were like, "Yeah, because you were an alien."
Right.
But, I don't know. I don't know what he's done in the last 10, 20 years. I don't know.
I'm gonna have to IMDb, whatever the hell it is.
IMDb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have to have a look. So Man with a Golden Gun, 74. So he wore the same Rolex, although it didn't have any special gadgets. Actually, I wrote some notes. I have mixed feelings about Man with the Golden. I'm a big Christopher Lee fan because I don't know. Well, he was Fleming's cousin, right? Wasn't he?
That's right. Yep.
Yeah, and he's also a British Italian, and you know, there's not many of us, but
so, embrace it.
Yeah. So very, you know, I feel quite proud of him. There was an instant in that where Moore was slapping a girl, and I didn't feel that was very.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like his James Bond. It felt like he was kind of doing a. I could see Sean Connery do it. You know, he's the type to his Bond. I think
he even went on TV and said it's okay to, as long as you use an open palm or something like that. He was famous.
Oh, really?
I can't remember what it was. Yeah, it was on Letterman or something like that, and he was like, you know, he sort of go, well, it's okay if use an open palm or whatever like that. And I was like, what? Like, it's life imitating art or something like that. But yes, yeah, when he's in Man with Gun, when he's sort of slapping around Maud Adams, it's. I mean, it is a Bond thing to do, but again, like you say, I mean, and this is where I think a lot of the kind of moralizing of James Bond comes from, is the Roger Moore era, where it was like he was a nice guy. And now we feel that James Bond needs to stand up for a lot of moral issues, and you're kind of like, well, he's not a nice person. Like, he kills people, and he drinks a lot, and he's not, you know, I don't know. I just think you can't lose too much of that. But,
absolutely. You're very. It's very true. What else was I going to say about Roger? Yeah, he also injected a little bit more humor and his sarcasm. He was more of a charmer than an abusive type of Bond.
Yeah.
But I also think that kind of, this is where my issue with Roger Moore's Bond starts to creep in, is that it becomes a little bit too comedic, a little bit too. What's the word?
I think for me, the biggest problem with it is it became reactionary. So you had things like Moonraker, which was reactionary to, it was a real
Star Wars.
To Star Wars, yeah. So you kind of had this. It felt like it lost its footing in terms of having its own identity and just sticking to its own thing. But I know what you mean. I mean, the humor and the sort of, they felt everything had to be played up for laughs. I mean, especially once you got into Spy Who Loved Me, kind of got away with it, but then it was like in Moonraker, and then, you know,
Moonraker's the one with the gondola and that pigeon, right?
The pigeon who does a double take, although it's really just reverse footage, and a dog, and I think that's where it started with the same guy he ends up with, like, he's drinking wine all the time, and he's like ends up pouring the wine on. Oh no, he's in. He's in The Spy Who Loved Me, I think, on the beach. But yeah, he's in 3 films anyway, where he's just always
really?
And then he looks at his wine and he's like, you know.
Right. Is that the same guy? Did they bring that guy back? Really?
Yeah. Same guy. Yeah. He's in Your Eyes Only as well. Yeah.
Right. I didn't know that. Actually, that kind of leads on to the whole Seiko thing, because obviously there was trouble financially. So Cubby and oh god, I've forgotten his name now.
Harry Saltzman.
Harry, right? Thank you. They had a falling out. They went their separate ways.
Yeah. That was after Man with the Golden Gun, where he ordered. I think it was that film. Yeah, it was that film where he ordered a bunch of elephant shoes, because they had this idea they were going to have a load of elephants in a scene. And so someone told Harry Saltzman that elephants had to have special shoes to walk around. So he ordered like these 300 elephant shoes or something like that.
Oh my God.
Just mouth it without saying the noise. It looks like you're saying, I love you. And he had them ordered to set, and it cost a fortune. And but that was around. So Harry had he owed lots of money or something like that. So he ended up selling his stake, I think, in the Bond films, which is what has, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, Barbara Broccoli, but I believe this is what has led to the fact that now, like, MGM and people own half the rights.
Right.
So this is why every time like a Bond film gets made, it's like, and then because Sony bought MGM or something, there was a to do around Casino Royale sort of time and stuff like that. So
interesting.
So they lost their kind of full control over it, I think.
Yeah. Do you think that this is why because when I emailed you and I so naively thought, oh, he's just wearing Seikos because, you know, there was the quartz crisis. They were trendy. It was Bond trying to be trendy, but it's so obviously product placement because, I mean, they had to. There was one Bond that they complained about. Which was it? That
Pierce Brosnan was it? That was very, very much. You know, there was things like
a lot of product.
He used to crash through a Perrier truck every time he had a car chase, or he would, you know, always use Philips or Sony products and stuff like that. You know, which has continued now. I mean, you can see that in the new films, even. You know, every electronic device is a Sony device. Actually, being on set on Skyfall, they had all the computers, everything was Sony. And they were printers, but because Sony don't make printers, they were HP. This might be a bit insider baseball. I don't know if I should reveal this. But they had printers on the desk that were HP printers, but they had tape over the HP logo, so it couldn't show. Which is fair enough. Look, I mean, you know, these films cost a lot of money, and if you're going to troll them out, especially at that point where it's every year, you're looking for, you know, I mean, if you adjust it for modern day budgets, I mean, Bond films at the moment costs $250 million at the moment. You know, and it's like, how are you going to find that kind of money in a couple of years' time? I mean, I get it. I totally understand. So I think, you know, the fact that he has to chuck on a Seiko. I mean, we were talking about this, and I don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but in Moonraker, there's a big like billboard, Seiko billboard. That
that was it. Yes.
Yeah. So you know, I totally understand. I totally get it. I had to find money somehow, and the watch was obviously Rolex never paid to be in the films. That's why I think come Spy Who Loved Me.
Yeah,
it was a case of, well, are you going to give us some money? And they were like, no. So it's like the way product placement used to work was like you used to have to pay a license. If you showed a logo, or if you showed anyone's intellectual property on screen, you would have to pay them to do that because obviously you were profiting, but you know their inclusion in your film was going to earn you money. It was going to do you know be of benefit to you, so you had to pay your license for it. And as time sort of has gone on, if you've got a big successful franchise, then obviously you can go to companies and say, well, if we feature your thing, you can give us money, you know, and that's, you know, it's fair enough. That's
fair enough. Yeah,
you know, that makes sense. But yeah, so that's why I think that came up there.
So what was next? Spy and Love Me. It was a LC Quartz digital. It was the DK001 Seiko. Let me see if I've got a picture of it here.
I've got one here, but I don't know how I can show it to you because it's on my laptop and I'm talking to you on that.
I think there is a screen share option, but wait, I've got a no, wrong film. Which one was this?
Screen share.
Oh no, that's View to a Kill. Sorry. Hold on, I'll find it. Here we go. DK. Where is it? DK. Yeah, this is it. That one.
Okay. Yes, that's the one. Yeah, with the two little buttons on the
yeah. So, if I remember correctly, did it print something? No, it something came out of it, didn't it?
At the open of the film, when he's with a lady, necking, and he gets a thing through that says he's needed, and he gets off, and that's when he goes off skiing and gets chased down the mountain and jumps off with a big Union Jack flag. As Alan Partridge so deftly reenacted.
I have to say, for our American audience, because bear in mind, I think 75% of my audience is American. Alan Partridge is a oh God, where do we begin? How do we explain Alan? You know,
there is no explaining Alan. It's
just looking him up on YouTube. Actually, Amanda.
Steve Coogan, though, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's been in quite a few movies. I love Steve Coogan. I especially love The Trip, where I so want to recreate that journey in a big Range Rover with my wife and just go to all those posh pubs up north. Oh God! And
I've been to the Inn at Whitewell, which is the first one they go to in the first season. My friend used to be at university in Lancaster, and they used to go. In fact, one of his friends had their wedding reception there, but it's beautiful.
So nice. How was it? Did you get to eat?
Yeah, we ate there, and it's stunning, absolutely stunning. It's
nice.
I didn't go at the the landscape, but yes, it's a beautiful place, definitely. Yeah.
Cool. So what is next? Spy and Love Me. So that was 77. And then it was Moonraker in '79, and that was the. Oh, first of all, have we missed one out? Oh no, I'm thinking ahead. Is Moonraker the one where there's one with an LCD display? I think.
Yeah, it's the LCD display, and it ends up having a little like a detonation cord in it.
Detonation cord. Let me see if I can.
The joke is he says "bang on time" when he blows up when they have to escape from the rocket. One thing we glossed over, and I just wanted to quickly bring this up, just so that people
go for it.
You didn't talk about this. Is in Live and Let Die, and it is worth mentioning. And I did bring this up in the commentary as well. Is there is a stunt watch, and I think I said to you as well.
Yes,
what is that? Because it was clearly like not.
Yeah.
It was a stand-in for the Submariner, but he's wearing it in a few scenes, like in the Bayou chase and at the airport chase.
Yeah.
So and it's like, what? I still don't know what that is, and I for some reason have it in my head that someone on your group put up what it was ages ago, and
I shared the picture, and it was a really high. I tried to find the highest res, picture of it.
Yeah.
And it's Roger in that black shirt with his hands on a deck chair. It's just it must have been between takes, and I asked the group, and there was a huge response. You're probably thinking of that because I'm sure somebody actually, if somebody's in the group now, and knows, please do share. Moza, I presume that's how you pronounce it. Has shared pictures of all the watches.
Oh, look at that!
Oh, and fantastic, nice. Oh yeah. Oh, this is really helpful. Thank you so much. So if I scroll back, we've got the Moonray, which is the Spy Love Me. There we go. Oh yeah, so that's the one from Spy Love Me, which we looked at.
Good work.
Thank you. Yeah. For Your Eyes Only.
4 pies only. Yeah. So he wore a dive.
He wore a.
Yeah.
Is that a tuner? I think that's a tuner.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't remember that at all.
There are dive scenes in it. So he goes down to the wreckage of that ship that had it is the ATAC. Yeah, the ATAC, which is that coding machine or whatever, the MacGuffin.
Right.
Film. There's dive stuff in that, and he's in that. That's when they get attacked by the guy in the big diving bell suit.
Oh yeah. It was a little bit like Inner Space, I remember. Yeah.
So I'm sure it must have been around there where he wore the. It's not.
Sorry, and then he's got that Annie Digi. One as well. So when is he changing watch? He must travel with a watch collection. He has to have a watch box. Well, he's a Roger Moore, a collector of Seikos. Yeah. He would do very well in the UGWC.
He definitely would, yeah. I think is that one also had the TV screen or whatever that he talks to the Prime Minister on.
Right. I haven't seen For Your Eyes Only for a while. I need to rewatch that. The problem is when I put the commentaries on, I'm exercising, so I'm listening, and then I'm doing a set of something, and I missed the watch shot, So anyway,
I don't. I never really listen to commentaries with the film on. It's always just basically like a podcast where someone talks about the film, and I just listen to it because usually it's a film I know pretty well, so I don't need.
Right. So what was next? It was For Your Eyes Only, and then Octopussy.
Yeah.
Which you did quite recently. Did you do recently? I think you did.
A little while ago, yeah. But we've done it in the last sort of.
So I'm pretty sure. Actually, I have a picture of that one. He used it as some kind of tracking device.
Yeah. So it showed him where the Fabergé egg was.
Right.
So that little sort of sub-dial in the top left corner sort of beeped and indicated where.
Right.
I think that was.
So there it is, guys. There is a Casio very similar design, and actually I took a look on eBay because I kind of intrigued by and I was just curious to see the prices, and you can't get one of these it's like 1 to 2 grand for a, you know, quite a beaten up one, you know. But there is a very similar Casio, and it's kind of known as the, not the poor man's version of that, I guess you could say that, but it's like seen as the alternative. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I quite like the look of it. It's quite sci-fi-ish, isn't it?
Yeah, it's It's not really horology.
No, and it's funny. The article we've got Florist number 89 below it, and then above it a Tom Ford suit, and then in the middle this Seiko.
The thing is, even at the level of Omega, I mean, much as I have huge reverence for that company,
right?
You know, when you're talking Tom Ford suits and Aston Martins, I mean, especially in something like Spectre, where you were talking about a unique Aston Martin that you can't buy anywhere else.
Yeah.
And Omega, like, would you be rocking around in some like Tourbillon Audemars Piguet, you know, some $100,000, you know, I mean, it's like, I don't know, like, if one could afford all that, can't he afford? I mean, but the point of it is that really he's you know, and what's nice about Spectre as well is you just see he lives in this really fairly modest flat, doesn't really have much money, and it's like, again, he has these things at the expense of, well, the taxpayer.
Yeah. Well, we talked about that last time, about how he really uses his things, and I think you said that. I'm pretty sure I remember hearing this, because I've still yet to order the books. Thing is, I go to on eBay and then I end up buying a watch. But yeah, but you know, he used a Rolex as a knuckle duster, and you know, you can't do that with a tourbillon. And yeah, and also I think actually you said this in a commentary, and it was a really good point about the early Bonds, especially the Sean Connery. Before the world got globalized, there was an exoticism. There was the luxury stuff. Not everybody could travel. You know, 1 minute be in Thailand, next minute be here, there. There still was. It was kind of even seeing it on screen. You know, the caviar, the all these little luxury things. It was part of it. I think it is just so essential to Bond. But I quite like the fact that he's a sports watch guy, and I think that's believable. The Seikos was a little bit difficult. I even found it difficult to believe. I just don't think that's.
I think if you see it in terms of if Q Branch is giving them to him and they're putting gadgets in them and stuff like that, I can understand why a Seiko would be their go-to watch, because they would just really be looking for a shell. And they'd probably be more concerned with, does the bracelet hold up over, you know, under scrutiny. So I think I sort of get it. I mean, and especially, I mean, we'll get to it, but you know, in Spectre and stuff, I love the idea of that they gave him one on a NATO strap, and it was properly like it had been fettled and worked with. But it's like you could understand that they wouldn't want to go with something too expensive, but it would have to be robust and work. I mean, you know, and that's why the military used to go with Omegas and stuff like that.
Exactly.
With the right balance between quality and cost. You know, so reference Dunkirk, obviously, and
of course, yeah. So obviously you liked it.
I loved it.
Yeah, it was good. I'm gonna as soon as it comes out, I'm gonna buy it, and I'm gonna include it in my next video on watches and movies, because the use of time. How Nolan split. He's obsessed with time, actually. If you think of Inception, Interstellar. And now this. And
not Memento. Yeah, Memento.
Oh, of course.
Yes. It sort of starts at the beginning and the end. And
right. Yes.
It's
Guy Pearce, wasn't it? The actor. Yeah. I haven't seen it. I totally forgot he did that. Was that his debut?
Yeah. That was his first major feature. Yeah.
It's a very strong film to make for your first. Okay, back to Bond before you go on.
Sorry,
Nolan. No, it's fine. No, I'm still excited. I'm still kind of buzzed off Dunkirk. Anything with Spitfires and Amigas and anything World War II related, I'm just, you know.
I had the very great fortune to go to school with someone whose mother was is a Spitfire pilot, and
wow.
They are the only female one in the world, in fact. And
really,
that's right. Yeah. Well, currently, and they have a 2-seater Spitfire. And we went to their wedding last year actually, and they had the display with that. And I'm very spoiled, really, getting to see. See all that, especially through my teenagers. So yes, I have a very, very much big affinity for.
Nice. Good. Okay, so what was next? It was then where Octopussy we kind of discussed. Is that the one? Is Octopussy the one where he zooms into a woman's cleavage?
That's on a different one. Yeah, that's on one that's like on a stand that he doesn't actually. I don't think he actually.
He doesn't wear it.
No, but he just takes the camera and zooms in and out of her cleavage.
Right. Yeah.
And it shows up on the watch.
Yeah. Fair enough. I don't have any images of that, unfortunately, but never mind. And then and then there was Sean Connery, which we've discussed. He came back. That was the rivalry there.
Yeah.
Which I didn't really know about that. It's a little bit. I don't know. I haven't lost respect for Sean, but I just felt. I don't know.
It's a film, I think, if you take it on its own merits, and I have to say, I because basically it's a remake of Thunderball,
right?
And not to go too far into it, but basically Kevin McClory, he was a producer. He produced Never Say Never Again, but he had joint writing credit for, I think, the screenplay to Thunderball.
Right.
The ensuing lawsuits that have happened over the years have meant that it's precluded them from using things like Blofeld and Spectre because he had the same, so they would have had to have paid him, I guess, to use them. Hence why that was resolved recently, and then they were able to do Spectre.
Right.
I have a film.
Oh, wow. So it continued all the way up into Spectre.
Yeah. And I have a semi-personal story to do with Kevin McClory, which is that my grandfather, who was a architect in the Bahamas, had commissioned him, I think, to build a swimming pool or something, or he had commissioned my grandfather to design him something and didn't pay him. So my grandfather had to take him to court, and in the process of taking him to court, please, Kevin, don't get litigious with me. I'm not saying you didn't pay him. I'm just saying that was the contention. Right. I'm not saying that's what happened. Right. And in the process of taking him to court, they became firm friends.
Really?
And yeah, my grandfather, Ray Nathaniels, and they became really good friends. And so, which is really weird, but that's the Bahamas for you. And so that's it. So
you were born over there, right?
Yeah, I was born in Nassau. Yeah, so there's a connection there, tenuous at best, but it's a connection in nonetheless. And
it's definitely worth mentioning.
Yeah.
So then, old Roger, and I think it was his last film as Bond, wasn't it? Before they went to Dalton, View to a Kill, and I just rewatched that recently because you did do a commentary with that for that. And guys, check it out. And if you're just tuning in, we're here with Duncan Casey. We're discussing Bond, Roger, and Dalton. And if you're not familiar with Duncan Casey, he co-hosts on Oliver Harper's channel. And I do urge you guys to check out, excuse me, the commentaries because they're hilarious, but they're actually also informative, which is something, it's a tricky thing to do.
It's a tightrope.
Yeah, but you do it so well. Because I've listened to a few other commentaries because I've literally, I think I've gone through all of Oliver's archives, and I found some other guy doing Kurosawa movies, and I just, it wasn't engaged. Although he was extreme, it was a little bit more kind of bordering on intellectual, kind of really going deep into photography, and it was too much. You have to be a balance between informative and fun, otherwise you turn off.
Less fart jokes, you mean?
Yeah.
That tends to be what we end up doing. Yeah. But no, we're quite good, I think. I mean, especially when you get the three of us together, it can descend into insane silliness, and sometimes the film warrants that.
Yeah.
I think we managed. I don't know. I mean, some of them I look back, I listen back to, and I go, God, what on earth are we talking about? But I think you have to have an element of that. There has to be a certain element of spontaneity, otherwise it's all just a bit sort of dour.
Yeah, exactly.
And not interesting, you know. So
exactly.
Yeah.
And also, if it was all just deadpan and you don't, it's not engaging. You don't like when I watch the commentaries. I feel like, and my wife will walk in, and she knows all you guys now. She knows when I'm watching your commentary, and I know you're watching them again. And but it feels like I'm sitting in a room with a couple of mates, and we're just watching a DVD together. Yeah, and that is really, it's a good thing. Trust me.
No, thank you. Bless you. That's really kind of you. Well, I mean, again, it's not to have a mutual self-aggrandizement right here, but it's very much your channel. I think you really managed to communicate your personality and your enthusiasm for what you do and everything. And I love that about your channel. So I think for anyone who's looking to, I think if you can really get a way to get across your personal experience with the thing and why it means so much to you, you'll probably find a massive audience, because chances are there's a lot of people who share your views.
Well, thank you. Oh, by the way, before I forget, Lee, who's a Scottish fan, he has the that's the Casio I was talking about.
Oh, check that out. Nice one. Nice.
Yeah,
I recognize that. Yeah, I've seen that before.
Yeah, it's very similar to the to the Seiko. And Joshua also just shared a lovely picture of a Spitfire there. So there we go.
That may well be my friend's, because it's got the there's this OUV is the sign on the
Sorry, can you see that again?
Fuselage.
There you go.
I could just see the V. It might be. It's a double seater, so that's usually the first giveaway, and then it has OUV.
Right.
NL 104, I think, is the tail number.
Right. Yeah, so. Oh, John is in. Sorry, I just got to say hello, John. Long time supporter of the show. A big Bond fan, he says. And he gave me, where is it? You can't really see it, but there is an Italian fighter. Where is it? It's the Fiat G5S. I think it's behind there. I'll get it later. But yeah, he gave me that. It was a beautiful model. Nice. Anyway, Dan says haircut. Yes, yeah, because it was my wife's birthday yesterday, so I had to.
Did you give her the gift we spoke of?
Oh yeah. I haven't really said anything.
I won't mention it.
But, no, it's fine. It's fine. She was very, very happy.
She was. Yeah. Very cool. That sounds dodgy for anyone listening. Like, what are you talking about? It's a very nice.
I'm gonna do. Actually, I might do her State of the Collection, because people have been requesting it. So I'll do that. Anyway, back to Bond. Living Daylights. So what was Living Daylights? Oh, of course, the first watch. No, sorry, View to a Kill.
View to a Kill, sorry,
yeah. Sorry, I'm getting the names confused. There was this beautiful Seiko chronograph, 7A28.
Very much like the one that Lazenby wore in the Rolex that Lazenby wore.
Oh yeah.
And in fact, I saw one of those today, because I was in London. I was in Burlington Arcade, and they have a massive.
Oh, nice.
In fact, when if you can make it over here, soon we'll go.
I'm on my way, man. I'm on my way. Yeah.
But they had that. They had all the pre-Daytona models in there. Literally, the Paul Newman, the Panda, everything. And they had that. They had the one from that Lazenby wore. I dare say I'd have to have a
there's them together.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Beautiful watches. But you see, they're quite similar sort of aesthetic.
Yeah, and it's so that was in the beginning of the film when they were in that ropey, that really bizarre floating ice cap thing.
Where he invents snowboarding to a it was wasn't it? But it was clearly a sort of specially made version of that, because it was obviously a cover. But they didn't have to basically pay for having the proper thing in it. And then he does a little he invents snowboarding and then jumps in a sex sub, as I like to call it.
Basically
it's basically a submarine with a big bed in it.
And
that's
you see, that's what I mean about like if we go back to the I think it was Man with the Golden Gun. There's is it Man with the Golden Gun when he does that stunt and crosses the car?
Yes, Man with the Golden Gun. Yeah, and they put a slide whistle in.
Yeah, John Barry, he actually did that himself. And I was in like disbelief. These are the things where I started having an issue. You know, the sex sub, right? It should be in Austin Powers, not in James Bond. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I think Austin Powers obviously just took. Mike Myers is a genius in my estimation. He found all those things, and he said what we were all thinking for decades. But it was like, how? Yeah. I mean, the funny thing is, he managed to spoof a thing that had already spoofed itself, and I don't understand how he got away with it, but he did brilliantly. And that film very much falls into that. It suffers. It just, I suppose the biggest problem is it's like you can accept a wacky James Bond film, but what often happens is you sort of see them in the same film. They'll have a wacky thing, and then they'll go, "We've got to, have something serious and dramatic now." So something like Moonraker, for example, I actually really like Moonraker, but there's a lot of wackiness in it. Obviously, there's the gondola and the pigeon and this and that and the other. And then at the same time, you've got a woman being ripped apart by two Dobermans.
Oh yeah,
in a really horrible, like almost Lovecraftian scene where like the bells toll and there's mist in the forest and she gets chased down by these two Dobermans. It's so jarring. I think is the problem. It's like if we just go on this cavalier, fun adventure with someone, fair enough. Then don't then involve someone.
You're absolutely right. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I forgot about that. I remember being slightly disturbed by that as a child. Yeah, it's bizarre. And actually that's pretty fitting because next it took with Dalton, it went right back to a little bit ahead of its time, I feel, with being just quite serious. What was the first one? Living Daylights.
Yeah.
Was that the one with Robert Davi as the drug lord?
No, that's License to Kill.
License to Kill, sorry.
Yeah, so Living Daylights with Marion Diabo and Joe Don Baker's in it as Brad Whitaker, who's the kind of American arms dealer, who then shows up. Joe Don Baker shows up later in GoldenEye and Tomorrow Never Dies as Wade.
Right.
So because we were talking about this yesterday when we did You Only Live Twice, and I was saying I think that's the first film where you actually see actors who played. But like I think it's the first film. No, it isn't. Goldfinger is because Burt Kwok's a Goldfinger, and then he's in You Only Live Twice. So Goldfinger is, but it kind of starts with You Only Live Twice because you see you've got Shane Rimmer who shows up later on in Spy Love Me, and you've got Charles Gray, who shows up later, and literally in Sean Connery's next film, in Diamonds Are Forever, as Blofeld, as a different character. So you kind of start this precedence, and Maud Adams did it as well. A lot of people just sort of started this thing of like they play just the same actor come back and play different.
Right, so, that's interesting. I didn't know that. Yeah, that was interesting. Yeah, so. I forgot to mention in View to Kill there was that polar dialed chronograph, which I think looking at that scene, I think they only chose it because it was white. And it just suited the, I don't think there's, there was I swear there was a two-tone Seiko kind of Jubilee style bracelet. It was a quartz with a day. I might be wrong about that, guys. If you know, do let's have a look.
Hang on. Yes. There was.
I'm pretty sure there was. Yeah, unless I'm going crazy.
I've got a picture of it here, but I don't know how to share it with you.
Do you want to? Can you post it on the feed, and then I'll just hold it up?
Oh yeah. 1 sec.
Cool.
It's two Luddites trying to.
My friend Matthew was saying. Shout out to Matthew if you're watching. He was saying because I refused to use Facebook Messenger on my phone. It's like he doesn't understand how I can edit my videos and do all the stuff with the videos, but then I refuse to, like, I'm stuck using text, and I refuse to, you know, like when it comes to using messages, I'm completely useless. But yeah, this just, I don't know.
Right. I shall put it in.
Lee says there was a tuner in A View to a Kill as well.
Yeah, there might have been. Yeah, I think there was. I think that might be the opening scene watch, actually. I can't remember. Yeah, because I'm sure he wears the chronograph through most of it. I'm sure that's his name.
Actually, there's the chronograph he wears also when he's dangling off the Golden Gate Bridge, I think. I'm pretty sure I saw a shot of it. Oh, yeah. Mozza, our friend Mozza, he's replied and said, View to a Kill, James Bond on the Golden Gate Bridge wears both his nemesis Zorin. Oh, wait, sorry. Let me read this correctly. View to Kill. Both Bond and his nemesis Zorin wear Rolexes. How's that? Bond is a date just, and the other scene Bond wears a Seiko watch, including a Seiko diver, the tuner, the 150-meter. So how does that work?
I don't think it's a.
I don't think it was a Rolex, was it?
No, I'm pretty sure it wasn't. But
yeah, but that's the tuner that we're talking about.
It looked like one. Okay, right, here we go. That is the watch that is supposedly what he wears, the two-tone Seiko.
And we got to say they've all been quartz so far, apart from the very early Submariner that my thing is so lagging behind, it won't update. Yeah, they were all quartz, no automatic movements apart from the sub.
Yeah.
I mean, such a sign of the times with the whole quartz crisis.
There's a tuner quartz as well.
Yeah, it's Digi. It's very, very similar to the Arnie.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
It's all it's basically the Arnie without the extra functions. I think the Arnie has countdown, the dual time chronograph. I'm going to have to look at this tuner and do. I haven't reviewed the tuner before, so it'll be interesting to see what this is. But it's very, very Arnie-ish.
Yeah, it's very similar.
Okay, I don't know why my thing is not updating. Did you post it?
Yeah, I posted it on the.
It's weird.
On that thread, yeah. Well, I think I did. Oh no, I've put it on that tag thing. Sorry, my bad. Okay, wait. Bollocks. I don't know where I put. Sorry, pardon my friend. I don't know where.
It's okay. Actually, I think I've said the B word. I've said it in a video, so it's fine.
My apologies.
No, it's fine.
I don't know where it downloaded it to now. Damn it. It was. Hang on. If you go to, there's a tag. There's a lot of people who are following that are going to wonder what on earth I'm talking about. There's below it. There's a picture someone's put of a tag F1, and
right. Let's figure out how to.
And I managed to put it in there, so people are probably like,
"Oh, you see, that's the thing I really don't like about the way Facebook organizes their thing. It's just you can't sort it in chronological order.
Right. Yeah. Hang on.
It's very annoying.
If I do copy image, does that allow me to paste it into?
I'll tell you what. While you're figuring that out, I will.
Might be a while. Oh no, I've done it. Have I done it?
Oh, you've done it?
There you go. There it is. Right, done.
Yes.
Sorry, and I should delete it from.
Oh, I was wrong. It was on a kind of president style.
That's why I think someone might think he wore a Rolex, but it's not.
Right.
It sort of has that same look, but it isn't.
It's very It's yeah. I used to actually have very similar Seiko once, and I can't for the life of me remember what I did with it. Anyway, yeah. So I knew there was a Seiko like that. Yeah. Anyway, so what was next? Dalton. I got to say, and this is going to surprise a lot of people. The tag Dalton, the night, is it what it was called? Night Diver, the Night Dive. It's the 980031. I have got a picture of it.
Yeah.
It's my favorite. It's one of my favorite Bond watches. I think it's really a sexy watch, and I was trying to think of a word to describe it, but it looks so tactical with that black PVD and the luminous dial. It's another quartz, and I think they were a little bit smaller. Actually, it's just the PVD, more kind of tool-tastic version of the Wolf of Wall Street tag.
Yes.
So Dalton wore this and the stainless steel version.
Did he?
Yeah, he wore the 980013. So that's the steel one. But I love the fact that it has a PVD Jubilee bracelet, and I just love Jubilee bracelets, man.
I'm starting to love them as well. I'm starting to regret my decision to get an Oyster on my date just because I'm like, I could have gone for a Jubilee.
Just get an aftermarket one. I got one for my GMT.
Oh, is it aftermarket? I thought you got an official Rolex one.
Yeah, I sold the.
What do you mean secondhand?
Yeah, on eBay from a Rolex specialist, and yeah, it was not that expensive. It's a bit older than the watch, but it was a little bit of stretch to it. But that's what you want,
you know. Yeah, exactly. I'd love to get one. I'd love to get one for my GMT actually. So I may well.
I'll send you the link for my guy because he.
Oh yeah, great.
Yeah, he's got perfect feedback, and I think he's in California. So
that'd be fantastic. Thank you.
So that was Living Daylights. Remind me what happened in the Living Daylights, because I've completely forgotten.
Well, it's a complicated plot. Basically, he is tasked. So they have to smuggle a Russian general out of Russia, and he. Played by of The Fugitive and
he's an Italian actor, isn't it?
Yeah, he's
really wasn't he in I've forgotten the name of the film, that it's quite a recent Tarantino film,
Hateful Eight,
completely. No, the one previous with
Django.
Yes. I'm pretty sure he was in that. He's an Italian actor. I've forgotten his name, but he's in a lot of the old westerns.
Who was he? I don't know that. Anyway, he's in that, and then James Bond has to protect him. Someone who it looks like is about to sniper him. James Bond stops that from happening, because that is played by Marion Diabo, or Cara is her name. Cara. Because someone's basically killing off at the start. It has one of the best openings, and I think Timothy Dalton probably has the best reveal shot of him as James Bond, which is that thing when someone's he hears the scream of one of his colleagues being thrown off a cliff or something, and you have that great truck in, wind's blowing in his hair, and he just turns to camera and it looks spot on.
Nice.
So he's probably got the best reveal, I think, of any James Bond.
Yeah,
because Pierce Brosnan is revealed to an audience upside down in a toilet. And Roger Moore's fairly inauspicious. Actually, I take that back. Sean Connery has the best, because it's obviously
the card table.
That's a given anyway. So he's probably good. But anyway, so and then there's arms deals with Brad with Joe Don Baker, and there's the Russians involved. There's that sort of Aryan looking guy who goes around killing people with milk bottles.
Oh, I remember with the milk bottles. The exploding milk. I remember being profoundly disturbed by the violence in that. There was a coldness to it that I wasn't, because there was no he was fairly humorless.
He was very much a theatre actor. I think that really comes across in Living Daylights. You know, there's very much that kind of, it's sort of everything's big, and and that's okay. I mean, that's absolutely fine. I love Timothy Dalton. But you're right. He really, really wanted to get back to the kind of the seriousness of it, and the fact that this is a guy who's risking his life.
He's a killer as well. He's not.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think, I love me some Tim Dalton. I wish, it's funny because obviously that was what Pierce Brosnan was supposed to do. He was supposed to come in at Living Daylights, and right up into The Wire, that was going to be him. And so you've had, I guess, sort of 6 films with Pierce Brosnan from the late 80s up until the early 2000s. But obviously,
because didn't his wife was in one of the earlier
For Your
Bonds.
Eyes Only, yeah. So Cassandra Harris, who was his wife, was in played the Countess, the something in For Your Eyes Only, and that's how he kind of got in touch with Cubby Broccoli and everything. And then, bless her, she died of ovarian cancer, which is his stepdaughter later died of as well. And then,
wow, that's terrible.
Horrendous. And but yeah, he'd done, it was to do with his contract with Remington Steele. It got renegotiated basically off the back of him being cast as Bond, and then that meant he couldn't be Bond, which is ironic.
Yeah.
And so Tim Dalton stepped in. So it's funny, you sort of I flipped between, would I rather have seen Timothy Dalton carry on and see him do GoldenEye and Tomorrow Never Dies and all those things, or would I rather have seen Pierce Brosnan come in at Living Daylights and do all that?
Am I right in saying that they kind of, they hated Dalton? I think the reaction was, well, maybe that's a bit strong, but they didn't take to him. I think people were so used to probably Roger that, and also that it was such a big difference between them. And also I think, I'm pretty sure somebody said it took 3 movies for them to accept Sean in way back, and Dalton never got the third. He because the second one. Sorry, go on.
No, I'm just saying. I think there's some truth to that. Yeah, definitely. Sorry.
Yeah, because then the second one, it just got even darker. It was just, it was kind of gritty, and I remember. I think there's a very young Benicio del Toro who gets sliced in the machine or something, and I just remember as a kid it was a bit much, you know.
Felix Leiter gets his legs and arm bitten off, or gets his legs bitten off by a shark. You know, yeah, you've got Robert Davi like beating his missus and generally being a horrible person. It was pretty. I mean, that does actually happen to Felix Leiter in the books. He gets his legs and an arm bitten off, and he goes around with a hook and stuff like that. Which I'd love to see Jeffrey Wright going around with a hook now in the new.
Oh yeah, that would be really cool.
So yeah, I mean, it was a weird one. You also had David Edison coming back, who was Felix Leiter in Live and Let Die. So this weird sort of recurrence of the same actor coming back to play Felix Leiter, but obviously with a different Bond and a different tone, and it was. And much older as well. Yeah.
What do you feel about the tag as a Bond watch?
I like it. I mean, I think it actually suited Timothy Dalton. It was a new sort of fresh way to go. As far as I understand it, I don't know if there was a deal. There isn't much. There aren't many shots of the watch in the film, so you kind of got to imagine that. I guess there wasn't. But I like it. It suits him. I like the fact that he's got the sort of PVD version and the stainless.
Yeah.
Silver. And that's
I just love that tactical look. I always look on eBay and they're always scratched up, and in a way it was an inspiration for the Cerakote. I wore this last time, if you remember, the Cerakoted. Not directly, but it kind of, I think it planted the seed, and that this is the result.
Nice. Yeah.
But it was smaller because from my review of the Wolf of Wall Street, I think it was like 39 or 38. Very, very Submariner inspired. You got the Mercedes hands, and it did have a subby feel about it. Actually, it felt like the older 39mm subs of, you know, the vintage.
Yeah, it almost had a GMT feel to me, because I know it didn't have that function, but it was like. It had the Jubilee bracelet. It had
yes,
like a GMT to me, but which is why I think in Wolf of Wall Street they went with that, because obviously the cliche would have been for him to have a gold Rolex, but Leo,
of course, and then there's that lie where he throws it and he says, "Oh, this is a $20,000 watch," or whatever he says, and it's obviously not. It's a quartz tag, you know. Yeah, that was. I thought that was very clever. Yeah, I love that watch. It's probably one of my, obviously excluding the sub, the Connery sub. It's one of my favorite Bond watches. I think it's so underrated, and that luminous dial. It really is a proper tool watch. It's like it has no other function yet to be legible but yet tactical and.
But how tactical is it to have a fully luminous dial? When I know how
that's true.
That just shines out. Like,
that is true.
But
I guess you'd have to,
cover
that
up.
is true. That is true. It's still really. I still think it's a very sexy watch. I love that watch.
Definitely.
And then he did wear a sub, didn't he? He wore the 16610.
He did. He wore a sub date. The only time he's ever worn a sub date.
Just a standard sub date. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they strapped that on him because they were like, they didn't have a deal, and they were like, well, James Bond wears a Submariner, so there you go.
Right.
Because there's no real close-ups of it. You don't really see it very much.
Right.
So I suppose that's what it was. Yeah. But
cool. Which out of the more Roger Moore films is your favorite?
Of the films or the watches?
Okay, the films and then the watches.
And then the watches. I've got to go with. I think his first trilogy is the best. So I think Live and Let Die is probably the best. I'm a big fan of The Man with the Golden Gun, and that doesn't get much love.
Yeah.
And I love The Spy Who Loved Me as well, but I think Live and Let Die is probably my favorite. It's hard to say. It's so hard to say. And that has my favorite watch in it as well. So,
of course.
Right.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
How about you?
I'd have to agree that the thing is there's no really there's no such thing as a perfect film, but with Connery, I'd just say Goldfinger because it's got all my favorite things in it. But with Moore, I like a little bit of Live and Let Die. I like a little bit of Moonraker before it gets utterly ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I really do like the villain's base, that subterranean it's the thing that's submerged in what's it called? I did write it down somewhere.
Oh, in Spy Who Loved Me?
Yeah.
Atlantis. Well, it's not Atlantis.
It was something Atlantis. What was his name?
Stromberg's, whatever.
Stromberg, that was it, with his weird webbed hands.
He's got webbed hands,
yeah. I do like the villains' layers were particularly good in the Moore era.
It was Ken Adams came in because he started with You Only Live Twice, and he made that massive volcano set, and then he kind of was on them for a lot after. And then obviously Spy Who Loved Me was the first one where they built and used the 007 soundstage, so that's why they had that.
Is it the one with the subs, right?
Yeah,
right.
That
was incredible.
It's massive, and I've been in there a few times on a few different films, and it's a huge space. It's absolutely massive.
I can imagine.
Central tank in the middle.
They built it just for that, right?
They built it for that, but then obviously with the idea that they would then use it for other things. Superman was filmed in there, and Star Wars and all sorts of stuff. Yeah, it's been well used.
Fantastic. Oh, fantastic. Let's do a couple of shout outs. And then what is the time? Because it's getting next. I've got my wine.
Hey, vino time.
Yeah, vino time. Usually I need to find I don't know where I put the bottle up. Anyway,
I'm sure you'll find it when you need to. It's well past the time here, I have to say, unfortunately.
Oh yeah, I'm so sorry about the time.
No, don't worry.
Jim has shared.
Otherwise, I join you. Is what I'm saying.
Right. Yeah. Jim has shared a lovely wristwatch check with his sub.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah. What are you drinking? That looks like is that a mojito? What is that?
Mojito. That's a Bond drink.
I think it is. Nice. Very nice. What else? Franco Nero, the actor in the Django, was in old westerns. I'm glad I got that right. Yeah, Franco Nero. Yeah. Thank you, Marco, for that. What else? Any other comments? Matt says, "The Spy Loved Me, hands down, is my favorite Moore film." Yeah, I could. Yeah, I can understand that. Yeah, definitely. What about, well, Dalton? There's only two, really.
Yeah.
Which would you go with, Dalton?
Probably The Living Daylights, but I quite like License to Kill as well. I actually own License to Kill, and I don't own The Living Daylights, which is weird. But I don't know.
I'm gonna have to watch License to Kill again. I haven't seen it for a long time, and I'm gonna go Living Daylights just because of that tag. It's just I just love that tag.
Yeah, I love the opening as well on the Rock of Gibraltar. I don't think you can beat that.
Oh yeah, because it was a training exercise, right? And then yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Cool. Lee's wearing his G-Shock. Lee, is that the one I gave you? I think it is. That would actually be a really good Bond watch.
I should be wearing my Casio Databank, of course.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Lovely present that bless you sent. I do have behind me is my corgi Aston Martin Db9.
Nice.
Sorry, I mean I must apologise for my lighting state as well. I didn't have time to set up.
No, it's fine. It's absolutely fine.
Halo behind my head and iron up there, and my Marshall lamp, and it's not very exciting.
No, it's fine. Absolutely fine. I mean, look at the state. My well, you can't see all this, but it's a state. Yeah, I love even the way that the box opens.
That's so cool. Yeah, okay. I'll get it. Oh, if I can.
Yeah.
I have to close it again. Here we go. Right. Are you ready? There it goes like this.
Oh,
so cool. Look at that. I haven't unboxed it. I've kept it as is because I just like displaying it.
Yeah.
It's very cool, man. Thank you so much for these. It's so kind of.
Yeah, it's the least I could do. It's been a really great. Well, we've only done 2 episodes, but I think the response on the first one was really positive. Actually, I think we'll wrap it up there.
Okay.
I think we pretty much covered it all. I don't think there's any other watches we missed out. We got all the pretty much the most important ones. Anyway, we will be back with, we'll do Pierce, and I guess it's all going to be Omega, Omega, pretty much all the way. So I think that will be an Omega special.
Well, Pierce is only really the same. I mean, it was the quartz and then the auto, but it's the same, really.
Yeah. Okay. So Duncan, just hang on there, and I'm just going to do the outro bit, so I can talk to you. Anyway, guys, thank you very much, and also thank you, Duncan, for joining us again.
Pleasure.
Your insight is invaluable, and an absolute pleasure as always. So yeah, guys, let me know your thoughts, queries, comments, opinions, all the rest of it down below. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it and found it useful, and you will catch me Friday, I think. Yeah, Friday. Okay, guys, a dopo. Ciao, ciao, ciao.